made our decision, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a very difficult one. Before I tell you the results of this year's competition, I just want to take a minute to say how incredibly impressed I am with these young men and women up here sitting in this front row. Every year we do this competition, we hear young musicians come, and I am always struck with how good young musicians are these days. I never played like you did when I was in high school. And I made a career out of music, so I can tell you just how far you can take this in your careers. Whether you decide to be musicians or not, you're going to be incredibly successful with whatever you do because of your commitment to this and how good you are. So congratulations to you. And how about a round of applause? Tell you who has won, but I'm not going to do that just yet. In grand Marine Band tradition, every year we make you all wait, so I can say some thank yous to the village that it takes to make this competition what it is and be so successful. And there's a lot of people. First and foremost, as I mentioned in my introductory remarks, to the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation for being such a wonderful supporter of the United States Marine Band, all things Marine Corps. Again, to Susan Hodges and to Major General Kessler, really appreciate your support and your presence here today to support these young men and women. I want to introduce our judges. You know me already, and we have three other judges. Our guest judge this year is Dr. Patricia Cornett, who is the Director of Bands at Temple University in Pennsylvania. Trish, thank you so much for being here with us today. And she is running an outstanding music program at Temple University. So if you want to be someone close to here, please do talk to Dr. Cornett and let her know you're interested. We also have the Assistant Director of the Marine Band, Captain Brian Sherlock, back here. And the Senior Assistant Director and Executive Officer of the President's Own, who also is the coordinator of this program, Captain Ryan Nowlin. And lastly, among our officers, I want to recognize my Executive Assistant, who has handled all the behind-the-scenes stuff for me and so much more, Major Doug Beerian back there. Thank you, Doug. Captain Nowlin is assisted in every way by one of our flute players, Gunnery Sergeant Ellen Dooley, who is also a coordinator of this program, and I think you guys got to know Ellen through this process, and she's absolutely essential to making all the gears run. So Ellen, thank you so much for your work. And I have a few more staff members here that have been a big part of this. I'll just introduce them to you here as a group. Master Gunnery Sergeant Charles Terry and his crew are in charge of all the set changes you saw up here. Master Sergeant Kristen Dubois is from our communications office, taking pictures and right there and doing so much to help publicize this. Thank you. We have two of our sound engineers working today. Gunnery Sergeant Jeff Higgs, who's the chief, and Staff Sergeant Ophir Paz have been working the live stream and recording for all of you, so we'll have a document of your performance today. Thanks to those gentlemen. And Gunnery Sergeant Greta Richard was responsible for maybe the most important part of today's thing, which is the food and the refreshments out in the reception. So thank you, Greta, for all your work. We're almost there. In addition to the wonderful performances by these five up here, they were accompanied by equally gifted pianists. Some of them are our own, and some of them were our guests. We had Gunnery Sergeant Anna Marie Matola, Gunnery Sergeant Russell Wilson, Staff Sergeant Christopher Schmidt from the President's Own, as well with Dr. Choi and Miss Batman. Thank you so much for your performances as well. And one more behind-the-scenes staff member, Staff Sergeant Tilden Olson, is a librarian here, and he handled all the music needs for this recital as well. So Tilden, thank you very much for your work. Finally, this program, although it is a recital and it is a showcase for these young musicians to play, it is also part of our extensive educational outreach efforts here in the President's Own. As part of the long-standing community service, this organization has done a lot for education. We try to really get our resources out across the country as much as possible to mentor young students, to give them resources, to give teachers resources to enhance their music education. We're so fortunate to have the organization we have here and the professionals that make it what it is, and we're so grateful to be able to share that with many people across the country each and every year. So as part of this program, when we invite young men and women to come and be finalists in this competition, we allow them a chance to meet some of our professional musicians and get a little bit of coaching as well. And we had that happen this year too, so I want to recognize those Marine Band members who were coaches for this year's concerto competition. On flute, Master Gunnery Sergeant Betsy Hill. On percussion, Master Gunnery Sergeant Chris Rose. On euphonium, Master Gunnery Sergeant Bart Jenkins. On clarinet, Staff Sergeant Andrew Dees. And on bassoon, Staff Sergeant David Young. Thank you to these Marines. Okay, I'm done with the formal thank yous, but there's one more thank you I want to offer, and I want you in the front row to listen very carefully, because you would not be who you are without the support and the love and the financial assistance and the encouragement of your teachers and of your parents. So I want to recognize all of those teachers and parents that might be in the audience today, those watching online, and say thank you for your dedication to these young musicians and for helping them maximize who they are as young artists and as young adults. So thank you very much to all of you. Okay, I'm going to invite General Kessler and Susan Hodges. You want to come up, Susan? No, okay, just General Kessler up here. There's a couple of things, and he'll be joining me for the announcement. We don't have a drum roll, so we'll just pretend there's one in our minds. So for this year's competition, we do have a runner-up, and we do have a winner. The runner-up will receive a $500 scholarship from the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. And the runner-up for the 2019 Concerto Competition for High School Musicians is, on flute, Israel Perez. As I said at the opening remarks, this was a really difficult decision for us. This was one of the most difficult deliberations we've had in quite a while. All 5 of you could have won this competition today, and congratulations for that. But alas, it is a competition, and we do have to pick a winner. So I am pleased to announce that the winner of the 2019 Concerto Competition for High School Musicians, who will receive a $2,500 scholarship from the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation, and an opportunity to perform with the President's Own United States Marine Band next month on euphonium, Peyton Sills.
We have a little bit of a tradition in the Marine Corps that when we see excellence, we like to recognize that excellence with normally a command point. Since I'm now retired, I don't have a command anymore, but I do have a personal point. And certainly I think these five young adults here are deserving of recognition of excellence for all of you in the performance that you did this afternoon. It was phenomenal. So I'd like to give you each, if I could, one of my personal points. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you to all of you for sharing your wonderful musicianship with us. Will you all please join us out in the lobby for a little bit of meet and greet, some further refreshments. Thank you. Take care.